Hello, this is Nubbles and Bits podcast, and I am your host, Chizoba Katie. How are you doing? So we've been doing Shatter by Tahereh Mafi, and this is the final part of book one. Book one. There are about 6 books in this series, and I might likely cover up to 4, 5, or even all 6 of them. I don't know yet, but I know we're definitely covering more than 3. So, like I said, this is a great book. It's really popular on Book Talk and Co. Quick recap. We already started the story introducing Juliet, our main lead. She's this girl that her touch can actually be lethal. It feels like a burn. When she was younger, she wanted to help someone, and it went sour, and she was put in this asylum after she was poked and subjected to inhumane experiments for more than 2 years. Yeah, this girl is calm. This girl is still thinking, oh, I deserve it. It's because of me. Something is wrong with me. That's why. She's not seeing the cruelty she faced and trying to fight back. She thinks she deserves it, okay? And now she meets somebody, Warner. He's not exactly a good person. He's not at all, actually. He is quite young, just 19 years. He's too handsome, blonde and green eyes, and he's the person in charge of this sector. His father is a commander or something. He's a big deal, right? So he is a person who gets her out of the asylum because he wants her to be a weapon to the reestablishment, the people that turned the world upside down. And she's like, no, you're the bad guy. And she's fighting him so hard. And this is someone who offered her like clothes, food. And she's like, no, you're offering me all those things because you want to turn me into a weapon. And I refuse it. All right? So that's where we ended things on last episode. And back to this reality, we're still facing it. Of course, there's also Adam. These are the 3 core characters we've seen so far: Juliet, Warner, and Adam. Adam is a soldier who was put in charge of her in the prison. That is, they sent him to her asylum to actually know, is this person capable of human interaction? Is she really volatile? Turns out she's not. And also, Adam is somebody she recognizes from her school days. They used to attend the same school together, and he was the only person who was kind to her, and she's not seen him in 3 years. Now, apparently he's a soldier, okay? And he assigned him to her, I'll be her to him. Either ways, he's meant to keep her in line. If she does not keep in line, he's supposed to shoot her. Do you understand? Now that's what happens. So another week passes with Juliet under Warner's roof, at the base of Sector 45. That's what it's called. That is the headquarters of this particular sector. You get a sector, let's consider it like a geographical location. You get the world is split up into 3,333 sectors. And this is Sector 45. And this is the one that Warner is in charge of. That's what this is. Another week passes by. Juliet is under Warner's roof in the base of this reestablishment, Sector 45. And he is still driving her nuts. He keeps pushing her. You get, like, show us your powers. He forbids her from speaking to Adam, to speaking to any of the soldiers. He wants to make himself the center of everything she does. And he's always blabbing, you get, about, oh, you're a bad girl, just my type, And she's like, what? Like, just something is wrong with you. He reminds her, well, remember, everyone cast you away. They've always isolated you because when you were 14 years old, you accidentally killed a 3-year-old at a shopping mall when you were trying to help him. They put you in an asylum because of it. Remember, I was the one who got you out of there because I'm seeing just how useful you are, Juliet. You could be a torture weapon against the rebels, all right? Think about it. That's how he actually convinces Dad to let Juliet out of the asylum. Because his dad gives a clearance and oversees most of what, people on this side of the sector does. And I said, so he had to go to his dad and said, something like, think about it, Dad. She's not even battery operated, cheapest weapon ever. Juliet wants the cameras in her room taken out because she has cameras all over her bedroom. It's only in her bathroom that there is no camera. So she asks, please take out these cameras from my room. Warner says, okay, but here's one thing you have to do in exchange. Touch me. Now, he pushes her button so bad, she's furious. And she's not like, take off your clothes. Oh, he does so in a blink of an eye. Now he's shirtless. And she's stuck between admiring his perfect body and also hating him. Now, she's about to touch him when it dawns on her, oh my God, he goaded me completely. I'm about to give him what exactly he wants. And there is also no reassurance he'll take out the cameras after, because he could just be bluffing, right? So she dashes out of the room. Adam is right outside. He's a soldier that volunteered to be put in the cell with her because apparently he also recognized her as the freak from his elementary school days. The first thing Adam does when they return to her room is dismantle the cameras and all monitoring devices because apparently Warner has given clearance, hey, okay, remove the cameras, even though she did not give anything in exchange. She's still shy. Remove the cameras like she asked for. You know what that means, right? Absolute privacy between Adam and Juliet. So she confronts him immediately. She's all, you always knew who I was and put up such an elaborate act, huh? Adam was that 8-year-old who had it worse than she did. And her life back then was nothing for the storybooks. Adam had an alcoholic, abusive father who would kick him, beat him, and wound him. Yet that boy stood up for Juliet when the other kids came kicking and throwing rocks at her. He was finally going to say words aloud to her, but that was the same day she touched the 3-year-old. He believes that she didn't do it deliberately. He also thought that she forgot him. But Juliet is like, I could never forget the bucket blue of your eyes, you know? It's the eyes, people. Because the moment she saw him, it's the blue eyes. It's like his eyes are so blue. Oh, you know, like this sea blue or, you know, whatever. With this truth out, they're in each other's arms, hugging so tight there's no room to breathe. He places her palms on his cheeks. And what a joy it is that she's touching another human being and the person is not screaming out of pain. She feels alive. Now they're about to kiss when something like an alarm goes off. Boo! He moves flash style, pushes on the intercom to confirm his name and assign soldier number. After, he holds her and they slide onto the ground together. Adam now tells her, we need to get the hell out of here. They have 3 weeks before they can get away. Adam is counting on the distraction, the troops attacking the Grey Resistance. Juliet always, for most of her life, she's tried to be good to everyone at the risk of being harmed and ashamed. Adam had taken notice. Some girl would not bring her textbook to class. Juliet would give it and take the punishment of the girl. Just doing some very stupid things in the name of being kind and seeking acceptance. These people already don't like you, so why are you trying to be any good to them? Do you get? That was the kind of, that is people pleasing to the core that Juliet was. Me as I was really irritated, like, who sent you woke? They already hate you, might as well just show them. But no, she's hanging on to some hope that they'll finally see she's a good person and accept her, that she doesn't really mean to hurt anybody. Oh, Jesus, that's, oh well. I mean, the best of us have been in this point. So we've all been Juliet, Let's show some compassion. Adam is interpreting everything she did as far, you're the only good thing left in this world. So that's the whole point of him trying to help her. After that day, Juliet is quietly counting down time. She plays her part with Warner, you know, secretly pitying him and his cruel upbringing. She pretends, okay, I'm liking that you're keeping me here and everything. Meanwhile, Warner, because Juliet is playing her part so good, he's thinking, ooh, I have a buddy in Juliet, someone who can relate to me. But she ain't trying to be no monster like he is. Next thing, Warner does something completely bonkers. He hands Juliet a teeny tiny tank top and shorts to dress in. Leads her past the soldiers who look at her with fear and attraction maybe. They head down to the basement where he locks her in a torture chamber complete with metal spikes vibrating. A toddler appears through a door, blindfolded and sobbing. Maybe he knows he's in deep Since Juliet won't touch Warner, that's what the intercom is telling her why she's in this place. Yeah, well, since you won't touch me, shall I save the baby? And she's not like, how do I save the baby without touching it, okay? This baby's in a torture room, could walk into any one of these things and, you know? So Juliet takes off like a sprinter jumping hurdles until she's close to the baby. She picks up the baby and he starts screaming and he's filling her with energy and life as per she's absorbing the baby's energy. She has to hold the baby by his diapers and that makes her wrist hot. Now, the metal spikes disappear, so she puts down the baby, but then he runs into her bare leg because he's blindfolded and then he starts screaming anew because if you get in touch with her skin, you feel it burn. Juliet is so sad. She's so sorry. Like, oh my God, I can never touch a baby. Oh my God, look at the damage I've done. However, once that sad and sorry feeling passes, she is in the mood to combust and her target, Warner. She catapults through the concrete walls and shatters glasses, hawk styles, like boom, boom. She grabs Warner by his clothes, shoves him like boom against the wall. Several guns are trained on her, ready to shoot. But although Warner is in chokehold, possibly about to lose his life, he orders, shoot her and I'll shoot you myself. Our girl has not moved though. It doesn't freak her. Like it's freaking us, okay? She levels a threat at him. She tells him, I'll kill you if you ever put me in that kind of situation again. Later, Adam finds Juliet crying in the shower like a girl who just got her heart broken because of what happened now. So he pulls her into his strong arms to comfort her. But she's all like, how can you care for someone like me? And he confesses, because I love you. Next thing, they're making out like they want to swallow each other. She tugs at his shirt, and our guy's pretty intuitive, so he yanks it up. Juliet traces a bear tattoo on his chest. He's a bird who'll fly her away from here. Now, Girlie gathers courage and looks in the mirror. She can't recognize herself after 3 years. Adam stands beside her and goes like, you're beautiful. Somehow, they wind up making out and fall into her bed until there's a loud alarm. Code 7! All the soldiers to the quadrant! Adam doesn't want to leave Juliet alone, but Warner waltzes. He waltzes in there as though he owns the place. Maybe he does, actually. And they jump apart. Thankfully, they're not on the bed anymore. Adam leaves and is just Warner with Juliet. He's suspicious, noticing her rumpled sheets and the tear in her dress because she wears these fitted dresses. So in the process of trying to climb Adam, it kind of slits by the side, So he prisons her against the wall and he's completely covered up. Like I said, he's wearing gloves. His clothes is kind of from his neck down. Everywhere it's covered. Just his face is open. So he's able to prison her against the wall because he saw the outline of a journal in her pocket. Because of the tight dress, he saw the outline of that journal. So he picks it out of her pocket. And she forgot. She forgot completely. He now demands to know where she got this. But suddenly, Adam's there, pointing a gun at Warner's head. And he's like, get away or I bury bullets in your brain, psycho. From here on out, everything sort of spirals out of control. Juliet and Adam, they gang up on Warner. They tie him up. And then Warner is now trying to reason with Juliet that Adam doesn't have your best interest at heart. Not like I do. He just wants to use you to get away from here. Warner refuses to give them a pass to leave. Because Adam is threatening him, give us a pass so that we can go out of here. He's like, over my dead body. So the only escape route left, the windows. They have to climb down with ropes. Adam would go first so he would catch Juliet. Warner is shocked when Adam can touch Juliet. They don't confirm this to him though, because it's like, when Adam was telling Juliet the plan, I'm going to stand and then you jump and then I'll catch you. He's like, you can't touch her, psycho, da 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 da. And then the way Juliet and Adam don't reply, he's like, wait, you can't touch her? But they don't confirm any of these things to him. So as Juliet is trying to make it out of the window, Warner is trying to stop her, even though he's tied. He reaches for her legs twice, brushing against it, begging her to reconsider. So soldiers' footsteps in the hallway. Yeah, so they're out of time right now. Juliet and Adam are out of time because the soldiers are coming. So Juliet hopes Warner doesn't realize what happened. Her skin didn't hurt him because he was touching her with his bare hands. And her skin did not send him crying and shouting. Now the soldiers arrive and they try to drag the rope back in and Juliet with it because she's already jumped outside. She's hanging by the rope. So she has to fall, let go of the rope and fall. And Adam catches her. So they take off running. He avoids the main roads and civilian homes. They come to an area that a nuclear blast happened at. It's supposed to be heavily toxic. In this area, the tracker injected into Adam doesn't work. Juliet worries that getting away was too easy. How are we able to get away like that? It feels like we did something wrong by getting away that way. Why was getting away too easy? You get. So Adam brings her to a shed where there is a tank. And this tank, one of it costs about $500,000, $500 million. Because like I said, in this world, cars are too freakishly expensive. Adam convinced Warner that this particular tank got bad and unwilling to upset his father, Warner documented the issue as rebel attack as per. But actually, the tank did not spoil. Adam disabled it. So they take the tank that's surprisingly stealthy and noiseless. They take it to an underground parking garage. There in the car, they make out. They start making out until someone calls out. It's James, Adam's 10-year-old brother. He's so excited that Adam's home. On record, Adam has no home, but he has a brother. They also, like right now, Adam, Juliet, and James, now, they're going to have to be ready to move from here just in case. Oh, James knows of Juliet's magical powers, by the way, since his brother talks about her a lot. They used to talk on phone using an untraceable line. It's been 6 months since Adam last saw his brother James in person. Adam informs James he can't tell anyone that they're here, that him with Juliet is here. So James is quite talkative. He's that excited kid that sees nobody. So when he sees anybody, he's like, brr, brr. However, he understands what's going on. So he's like, he doesn't even question, like, okay, no one knows you're here. You never came. After James is asleep, Juliet now asks, what about this white bird tattoo you have? Adam now explains that he's actually dreamt about this white bird for a long time, so he had to make it permanent. Also, after Juliet disappeared when she was 14, Adam looked for her a lot. He was drawn to her from day one because of her innate goodness that he sensed within her. Oh, I'm calling that innate goodness noble idiocy. Oh, whatever they call it though. But he never, according to him, found courage to talk to her. Juliet, on her own part, she stopped dreaming about the bird, the white bird, the day that Adam showed up in her cell. So she also tells him, I love you too. Eventually, he cleans up her wound because when they were escaping and they had to climb up this dangerous thing, she scraps her flesh against places. So he cleans it up and then she bathes and it's time for bed. They make blankets on the floor of the sitting room. Adam has his bedroom, so it's more like a one-room apartment or so. Then in the middle of this deep makeout, right, as they're lying there together by themselves in the sitting room, when James interrupts, he was having a nightmare. And for the first time ever, it makes Juliet consider what must it be like for a 10-year-old and all the children on the street to live alone. This is apparently an orphan street. Now, by morning, the secret is out that Adam can touch Juliet because James wakes up to find Juliet and Adam cuddling. And he's like, I thought nobody can touch her. How can you touch her? So Adam has to go have a private talk with James. And James is now blushing and is like, so you're his girlfriend, you know? And there's also a reference to Juliet's hair being so long. Apparently, she hasn't cut it in how long. She doesn't even know how it looks. Now, James has to go to school. No, he doesn't want to go. But Adam is like, you have to go. You have to keep doing the normal things you do so that nobody is going to start suspecting anything is different. Adam is in the shower. You know, he's having a shower when there is knocking on the door. Cautiously, Juliet goes to answer the door. And it's Kenji. Kenji is Adam's friend, another soldier. After Adam administers first aid to Kenji, Kenji informs them that he was tortured for information he doesn't have about where Adam and Juliet went off to. Because, Kenji was openly friendly to Adam. So naturally, they assumed you have to know where your friend went to. So he passed out when fleeing for his life. That's the account is given them. And then a hefty man brought him to Adam's door. So Kenji tells him that he knows a place that they can go to and they'll be safe. Adam doesn't trust him, but Juliet thinks we have to try. Kenji, he's also a piece of work. Apparently, he hasn't been close to a woman in so long, and he is drawn to Juliet's intense psycho energy, as he likes to say. It's heartbreaking that they've lost this space that Adam worked for years to make home. Because by Kenji showing up here, somebody likely trailed him, right? So more people would show up here. So they have to get out of here. James soon returns from school and no surprise, he quickly bonds with Kenji. And they're still making plans. Like, okay, how are we going to move? We'll move at night, that kind of thing. When there's suddenly footsteps, they have to get out now. They have to get out of that place now. There's a door out the back through James's room. There's so much gunshots, pandemonium. Kenji and James are kept somewhere else, as they escape out of there because Kenji is wounded and James is little. Adam finds somewhere that he shoves them in, like, you all stay in here. They already packed bags before now that they grabbed that contained food and, some basics. They kept that with Kenji and James while Juliet and Adam, they're running. They don't even know where they're running, but they're just trying to find a car, anything. Because, they're supposed to take that tank, but plans have changed. So now they crash into what used to be a clothing store. And then from that clothing store, they crash into what used to be a warehouse. They're trying to find a car to steal. They make it out through an exit, Juliet's site. Once they come to that exit and it's like outside, another place that used to be a parking garage, someone says it's about time. Warner is there. I think he suspected that they would crash through that place. So he's waiting patiently there. Before Juliet can even blink, Adam is shot down. And someone is holding Juliet back with bare hands. Warner. Of course he noticed. He touched her and nothing happened. He drags her away into what looks like a classroom. He's still convinced that they fit so well together in violence. He launches into casing her and she's straddling him. I think he places on the desk or something, so her legs are around his waist and she's kissing him back. But it's actually a cover because she noticed a gun inside, his inside pockets, his inside suit pockets. So she's trying to use this as a distraction to reach for the gun and shoot him. So eventually he noticed, but he noticed late. So she was still able to shoot him somewhere, not in the heart like she wanted, but she shot his hand. And shot him so good that he was down for a while. So she's able to make her way with his gun. She finds a trail of blood. That's Adam's blood. And it leads her to an old factory that's all steel and closeted and there is nowhere in. However, she's so desperate, she punches a hole through a steel door without hurting herself. And she destroys that door, claws it out. like a wild animal would, with her bare hands, without hurting herself. She climbs in and finds Adam tied up by the wrist and in bad shape. Apparently, he was placed here because Warner wanted to torture him himself, end him himself. Do you get? That's how sick this guy is. Now, Juliet finds a blade. Is a contraband blade actually, but Adam has one of it inside his trouser. So she gets it out and she cuts down what's holding him up by the wrists. He gets sluggishly, because Adam is wounded and Juliet is one tiny girl, right? Sluggishly, they make it to the exit. Adam was kept here because nobody would have found him here. Warner had very bad intentions, like I mentioned, for him that would end in. Juliet goes car hunting alone because Adam's wounded. She finds an old sedan that the owner must have abandoned when curfew was announced, because the moment they were chasing down these guys, announced curfew, you get. Now, fresh groceries are within the car. That person must have come from shopping or something. Juliet drives that car following Adam's directions, and she cannot drive. So the driving is terrible, but she's able to bring Adam inside the car, and the wounded Adam's like, okay, where did we leave them? Kenji and James. So Adam is just like giving directions. So she's able to get to that place where Kenji and James are. This is already nightfall. Now Kenji takes over driving. And there is no soldiers on the road because one eye is down. So there is nobody right now after them. That's why it's even easier. So Kenji, being in better shape than Adam at this moment, he continues driving. James, throughout this whole ordeal, he's sleeping. He's sleeping right now. So while Kenji is driving, that's when he picks up on the vibe between Adam and Juliet. And he's like, you guys are together. Why didn't you say anything? Kenji brings them to an underground parking garage, another one. Then I wonder, why hasn't James stayed throughout all of this chaos? I mean, there's so much noise. You're like driving Jackie Chan style, you know? And this guy is so fast asleep. What's up with that? That's when Kenji admitted, oh, I gave him a sleeping pill. How dare you? Kenji's like, would you rather he be awake for all of this? So Kenji goes to get medical personnel. And when he returns with them, something about him is different. That's the first thing Juliet notices. He's acting like someone in authority. He's not joking or bending over or being that, something about his aura just changed. Meanwhile, while the medical personnel take Adam away, Juliet is hysterical. She's doubtful, like, where's this place you brought us out to? She's ready to bring dooms. You get. So Kenji has to use something to knock her out. When she wakes up, she's in a pure white room, lying beneath white sheets, and she's naked. A salted doctor comes in to examine her. We're going to find out later this is Winston. Anyhow, now Kenji too comes to see her eventually, and he's completely well. No sign that he was shot at or that he had any injury. It's as though it never happened. How? You get. Juliet is told she slept 14 hours. Adam still is not in a state to meet her. Meanwhile, all of Juliet's clothes, the reason she's clothless is because all the clothes that was passed in the duffel bag, in fact, everything was burned to avoid infecting this place. Someone called Castle wants to meet her. He's in charge of this movement. Castle is likely a black man in his 40s that has long dreadlocks that he normally packs in a ponytail. He appears kind, looks to be in his 40s. Juliet refuses to cooperate unless she's seen Adam and James. So Castle has to take her through this underground facility. It's like a maze. It's so well equipped and modern. So Castle is telling Juliet things aren't as bad in the world as the re-establishment are making it seem. They have hundreds of acres dedicated to farming, but the farmers are slaves. Same with animals and coal. They are kept in special places. Now, Castle and this underground movement steal from the re-establishment to keep this place running. This underground facility running. The world is collapsing. Yes, Castle anticipated it long before it happened. That's why he, built this thing so many years ago. Juliet is so relieved to see Adam asleep. She's, through a transparent glass, the hospital wing. There are no wires or machines attached to him. This place, called Omega Point, is a haven for the gifted. That is, there are other people like Juliet apparently. There are about 200 people who live here. So Juliet is excited. Whoa, you mean there are others like me with powers? Excited. Juliet is asking, okay, tell me something. What's your own gift? Castle's gift is psychokinesis, or otherwise known as telekinesis. He can move objects with his mind. There's also another completely white kid, Brendan, who has electric energy. Basically, he looks white, like pure albino. And then blue eyes. He has electric energy. Juliet feels seen for the first time. Castle brings her to the medical wing. There are 20 beds there, but just the one that Adam is sleeping in that is occupied. He lets her be. She sits beside Adam, and then she reaches out and touches him. So Castle is so shocked. Like, wait, you can touch him without hurting him. It's also this time too that Juliet learned that before she was put out, basically they put her down and she fell into this 14-hour sleep. She actually touched Kenji in her state of freak out and she hurt him. And she feels so sorry about that. She didn't do that deliberately. She was just panicking. You get. And as for being able to touch Adam, Castle is like, if you can't touch him, it's not an accident. It's not a coincidence. That means he must have an ability too. Do you understand? So Castle wants to explore theories about it. Now Juliet meets her new roommate. It's a set of twins who are the healers, Sonia and Sarah. They are so identical. They finish each other's sentences. They talk alike. It's a little creepy, except these girls are so nice. They honestly don't have any malicious intent. They bring in James, who's over the moon excited. There are other kids here that he can play with. And Kenji is also going to be accommodating Adam and James in his own room. So all three of them will be roommates. Kenji's powers, he can disappear or blend into the environment. He can go invisible. That's how he was able to trail Adam long before this and know where Adam lives. So that his story of somebody, a big man carried me here, is all bull's wash, okay? In total, there are 56 of them here that have some kind of ability. The other number of people that makes them up to 200 is the family of and friends of these 56 people. As for Winston can stretch. Winston is a person that he's kind of a psychologist, the person that came to check on Julia when she first woke up, the kind of doctor. His abilities is he can stretch, that's incredible. It's incredible family. That your mom that can, super stretchy. Now, by the following morning, Juliet has her tailor-made suit. That is, they made her a suit, for her abilities. Think suits of the incredible steel, but a rich purple. It's comfortable, and according to the men, that is Kenji and Co, it's sexy. Now, it's time for Juliet's training. Anyhow, the computers are still picking up on Warner. Hugh is still actively looking for her. For a while, like I said, everybody was recalled back and because Warner got shot, but apparently he's fine now. So a lot of people are saying patrolling their area, that area where this Omega Point is located at, because it's located underground. A lot of soldiers are patrolling it, and Warner is with them, and his hand is in a sling. So this is going to be hot. They're looking for them and they're really close there, just like they don't know how to get into that Omega Point, but they're within that general vicinity. So they're about to get, okay? This is where book one ends. I mean, Julia finally finds a place she feels seen, but Warner is still on her tail. And even her friends, how can they even fight against the reestablishment at this number? Juliet needs to train. So those are all of the things coming up. And at this point, she still has not accepted herself or her powers. She still thinks she's dangerous, she's a freak. It's just Adam she has. And every 2 seconds, they're making out. If she's not feeling sorry for herself, she's making out with him. Oh my God. It's so funny, really. I get it. And Unravel Me and the books that come after, they're much more fun and maybe slightly more detailed. But I think I just want to keep this tempo. So you will have to get back to me. Do you prefer much more summary style, or would you like me to go in details like, I can't do? Anyhow, let me know. Thank you so much for listening. See you in the next episode, which is book 2. Please leave a review. Please leave a comment. If you are listening on Spotify, leave a review. Apple Podcast, leave a review. YouTube, leave comments. Please now share to one person, just one person. I beg you. Yeah? I know. Bye-bye. See you.